Chapter 2. The First Attack. Doing your best to disguise the smell of alcohol, you rush back to the Vitality office and burst into the board meeting in progress. Dante, you underhanded son of a... Well, that's no way to speak to the new interim CEO now, is it? This is why you wanted to handle the board, to try and snake to the top spot? Well, guess what? You can be CEO over my rotting corpse. Well, I'd suggest you break out the mealworms, because the deal's just about done. He gestures to the members of the board sitting around your table. Most stare at you impassively. I've seen you before. Others analyze you, waiting to see your next move. Hi, Sabrina. You glance over to the head of the table and find Vitality co-founder and Trey's father, James Tibidix II, presiding. Yes, hello, old chap. Alright, old chap, let's do it. If all of this was legit, then why wasn't I informed? You know, board, it's all private, Cameron. You're voting to fill my father's position before they've even cleaned his blood off the floor, and you think I don't at least deserve to know. I'm his daughter. One of his daughters, illegitimate at that, and it doesn't matter what you or anyone else thinks. The bylaws are clear. Dante pulls out a worn book and chucks it on the table in front of you. Vitality bylaws. I know the... Only children who share the last name of the founders are granted board privileges at the age of maturity. Ergo, you don't belong here. Fueled by your midday happy hour, the blood in your veins boils, evaporating your inhibitions as your words pour forward. Don't recite this to me. I've known it word for word since I started working here as a teenager, which is how I know that you missed one. You flip through the book clumsily until your fingers find the page you're looking for. An interim CEO can only be chosen by the board if the acting CEO is incapacitated. I'd call getting your head blown to smithereens incapacitated, wouldn't you? Wow, you are too smug for that. It's more than enough. James's usually soft-spoken voice cuts down Sabrina's glib comment, and she sinks down in her chair. He turns to you with wide eyes. Cameron, has your father's condition changed? As every eye in the room finds you with astonishment, realization dawns on you. They were locked in here during the broadcast. They have no idea what the doctor said. Your mind racing, you make a snap decision. I'm gonna tell the truth. If the board calls my bluff and finds out I lied, they'd vote Dante in immediately. My only choice is to tell the truth. With a sigh, you bow your head. Not much. But his doctors just announced as he's been in and out of consciousness. Which means it's still touch and go. Sounds incapacitated to me. Like you so lovingly pointed out, it doesn't matter what any one of us thinks. It matters what's in the bylaw. And if he's vacillating, we have no way of knowing whether he's in or out at this exact moment. We need to wait until things are more definite. An uncertain murmur goes up around the conference table, and Dante's mood sours. This is ridiculous. I'll just call the hospital. If Dad's really awake, then I'm sure he'd love to hear from me. As Dante pushes a button to open the line on the conference phone, you jolt forward. End the call. Ugh. I can't let you do that. Because you know when I call, Dad won't be able to pick up. No, because Dad is resting and doesn't need to be disturbed. You grab the console just as Dante gets his hands on it, and he yanks hard enough to send you jerking forward. You slam into the side of the table with a hard thud, and the board members jump. Oh! Dante, that's enough! All around the room, expressions of shock and horror stare back at you as the scene unfolds, and an idea comes to your mind. Trey said Dante is impatient, and will always come at me directly, which leaves him open to making costly mistakes. If I can goad him into acting out in front of the board, maybe I can convince them he's not the best pick after all. You scan the room for anything to help you trigger him, and your eyes land on the bruise developing on your wrist from where he held you too tightly. He flipped his lid when I called him Bull earlier. I bet if I told the story of how he got that nickname, he'd act out so badly the board would have no choice but to see him differently. You really want to do this? Same old Bull, I see. I don't get why they smile when you pick a diamond choice. You grin and project your voice so the whole room, can hear you. That's okay, I'm used to it. This is just classic Bull. You can see the rage building in his eyes as the name resonates. What did you just call me? Bull. You know, like Dad nicknamed you, but I guess no one else knows the story, do they? Uh-oh. Sabrina scoots away from the table, but you just keep pressing. Dad brought Dante in on a high-profile case when he was fresh out of college, thinking it would be a good idea for him to get some experience, but instead of helping him seal the deal, Dante got pissed off at one of the richest men in our books and challenged him to a fistfight. Excuse me? Stop talking now. Or what, you'll hit me? Dante, it wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time he's put hands on me. He beat me up religiously as kids. That was a long time ago. And what's the excuse for today? I'm sure several press members caught you dragging me into my office by the wrist, and what do you know? You relinquish the phone console and flash your bruised skin around the table. Just one more to add to the collection, I guess. All around the table, board members taking Dante's wild look and sweaty face, seeing for the first time the brother you know. As he sees their disapproval, he sneers. They already voted for me. They can't take it back, so you're wasting your time. Actually, nothing is set in stone. Since we didn't finish the vote, it could be argued that a more suitable replacement could be found. More suitable? Dante's eyes find you across the table and fill with a murderous rage. What were you saying about mealworms earlier? I'll kill you. Before you can think, Dante launches the phone console at your head. Grab it, duck. You ever tried to catch one of those? No, don't do it, duck. You dive out of the phone's path. Unfortunately, Ariel's behind it. Who doesn't? Oh, no. As she clutches her eye, you revel in the horrified look on Dante's face. Oh, damn, Dante. What did she ever do to deserve that? Ariel, I'm so sorry. Don't you come near me. She scurries towards the door, calling for security with every breath, and Dante looks at you, furious. Look what you made me do. Oh, God, I've beat men senseless because of those words. In seconds, he scaled the conference table, knocking over the water and soaking everyone's notes. Don't take control yourself. But it's too late. Dante pops up in front of you, eyes blazing with murderous fury, and you artfully dance out of reach. It's a good thing you got closer. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He lunges at you, tackling another board member. Holy shit. Dude, get your eyesight checked. Only to just miss. Yeah, it just blows my mind the dad made me do sports because I ran like a girl, but he somehow missed her awful throwing form. How's this for awful? You stand completely still and watch as Dante heave the last full pitcher of water at you, only to end up splashing Sabrina. Damn it, Dante, this skirt is vintage. Are you insane? Oh, if this is what you call giving it all you've got, I can see why your first and second wives left you. Oh, shit. Marjorie and I used to call you the little engine that couldn't. Oh, Jesus Christ. My bro. As you circle the table, Dante quickens his pace, launches at you again, this time tackling you to the luxury carpeting. Gotcha. Dante, get off of her. The room erupts into chaos, but just under the din, you whisper gleefully, "Thanks for making the first move, big bro. Now everything I do to you will look like self-defense. And I got a lot of pin-up rage I need to work through." Shove his button up over his head, choke him with his tie. You grab him by the tie and tighten him until he starts to turn red. This is for all the times you held me in a headlock. Dante flails, eyes bugging, finally grasps at the rotating organizer on the table until he finds scissors and cuts the tie loose. Quickly, you roll out of the way of his next move, but he grips you by the collar and rams you into a TV. Dark glass shatters all around you, and as you catch sight of the board member's horror, you play up your reaction. Dante hauls you to your feet, repeatedly slamming you into the broken machinery. Dante, that's enough! I've called security. They'll escort you from the building. I don't care. I've had more than enough of this filthy bastard. With every slam, Dante gets closer until his breath ghosts across your face. How dare you try to come in here and take my birthright? Well, she didn't, but you did that to yourself. When will you learn, bull? Sensing your opportunity, you draw back with all your might and take aim. Throat. It's fitting. You land a single direct blow to his Adam's apple and he stumbles back, clutching his throat, gasping for air. By the way, ladies, that is a great self-defense technique if a guy ever does anything to you. Always aim for the throat. I'm scrappier than I look. In his panic, Dante trips, whacking his face on the conference room table on the way down. Damn it, Cameron, my face! My God, they actually added bruises. I think you got bigger problems, pretty boy. You nod to where security's filing in, and finally reality breaks through Dante's rage-based haze. There he is. He needs to leave. I couldn't agree more. I was so afraid. You little... As a security guard claps a hand on his shoulder, and as more pile on, he fights like hell to shake them off. No, this is my company. I'm the new interim CEO. You can't do this to me! Slowly, they drag him to the door, and you wave smugly, and for the sound of an open phone line to stop you all in your tracks. South Bay Hospital, how can I assist you? Glance down at the unplugged phone console, and out of the corner of your eye, you see Sabrina pressing her cell phone to her ear with a smile. Theodora Vitale's room, please. I'll hold. What are you doing? I hate to break it to you, sis, but this is the 21st century. You don't need a corporate landline to make a call, so we can all stop speculating about Schrodinger's daddy and find out whether he's alive or dead once and for all. Sabrina, no! The room falls completely silent as the on-hold music ends and your heart thuds in your chest as Sabrina puts the call on speakerphone. Hello? What? He's actually alive? Don't hello me, princess. Not even getting shot could make my kids just call to chat. So what do you want? As your father's gravel-filled voice fills the room, you remember how to breathe and rush to make your presence known. You're right, Dad. There is something we should discuss. The board needs to know your condition. I tried to tell them that you were well and just resting, but they insisted. The bylaws require... aren't you supposed to be gone? Are you really going to hide behind bylaws, Dante? Cameron's right. If you have the stones to try and take my seat, don't let them shrivel up now. James steps forward to take the phone from Sabrina's hand. Good to hear from you, my friend. How are you feeling? Unfortunately for those jackals, I'm not dead. But if we don't fix this PR nightmare, vitality will be. Leave that to us, Sid. You need to rest. What I need are my idiot kids. Tell them I want them here now, Jim. We need to talk about who's running this thing. The line goes dead, and for a single moment, you and your siblings look between each other. Then, all three of you turn and bolt for the door, desperate to be the child your father sees first. Bro. While Dante rushes to his car, Sabrina calls a luxury rideshare your charter a helicopter. As soon as the landing skids touch the hospital's roof, you race inside, sprint through the hallways, and shove open the door to your father's room. Dad, so glad you're alright. Listen, about the interim CEO position. But as the door settles closed behind you, you find the great Theodore Vitali lying in the bed looking pale and frail. Okay. Dad? But it's not really. The father you know is a powerhouse who strikes fear into hearts and commands the room, but this is an old man. His hazy gaze finds you, and for a moment you pause, struck by the softness and love there. His lips quiver as he calls out to you. Marion! You catch a reflection in the full-length mirror, and as your mother's features stare back at you, your heart breaks. No, Dad, it's Cameron. Cameron, what are we doing here? He looks around, lost, and you swallow the ass-kissing you prepared on the ride over and let your words come from your heart. He looks around, lost, and you swallow the... Sorry, brain fart. Dad, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to give that presentation. If I'd been ready, you wouldn't have been out there, and none of this would have ever happened. A wall of emotions hit you all at once, and you have to pause to collect yourself. Finally, you manage to swallow and croak out, I'm sorry I let you down. To your surprise, your father beckons you closer, pulling you into his grasp. You could never disappoint me, Marion. Cameron, Dad, Marion died a long time ago. Did you forget? Gradually, clarity finds him, and as it does, you watch him harden. Gone is the look of softness, and the sneer reserved for you returns. Of course I didn't. Damn it, Cameron. I just got shot in the head and hopped up on all these pain meds. I think I deserve the right to make an honest mistake without being called an Alzheimer's patient. I didn't. But before you can finish, your brother and sister tumble through the door. Dad! Thank God. They shove past you, crowding around him, and as your father's eyes land on Dante, he scowls. What the hell happened to you? Nothing. If you call charging around Vitality conference room like a wild animal nothing, you step closer, shouldering in right beside Dante before shooting him a smug smile. We were in the middle of a board meeting to decide on interim CEO. I made one little comment and then boom, bedlam. Typical bull, am I right? Screw you. Before Dante can make a move, your father reaches out and grabs him by the chin, turning his face this way and that. Face looks like it still works to me, so shut the hell up. And Cameron. Your dad praises you, and though you expect to be reprimanded, he gives you a simple nod. If you can get under a man's skin, you can control him from the inside out. Never forget that. Yes, sir. The sentiment behind the moment takes you by surprise, and you feel yourself filled with pride. And then... So help me God, Theodore Vital. You'd better be resting like the doctor said. The door swings closed again as your stepmother waltzes in, the bags beneath her eyes more pronounced than you've ever seen them. The doctor was very clear that you need your rest. Your brain needs time to heal, and so does everything else. Elizabeth. Your father starts to sit up, but Elizabeth waves off his warning with a flicker of her bejeweled hand. The motion catches your eye, and your heart races. Is there something else wrong? The surgery to remove the bullet was successful, but your father's heart isn't as strong as it used to be. She's making it sound like more than it is. A few weeks of taking it easy and I'll shake this off like I do everything else. Wait. Shake it off? A weak heart isn't just something you get over. Stop being so dramatic. All I need is a little rest and... Or a little heart transplant, Dad. Are you out of your mind? This is serious. Who the hell do you think... Theodore, calm down. Daddy, I think... Not now, Princess. Just go do your tick-clock thing over there. We can talk in a second. He points to a corner of the room and Sabrina shovels away, a scowl plastered on her face as she goes. You cross your arms. You called us here to discuss succession, and I think it's time we did. Crazy as it sounds, I agree with Cameron. If you're going to be out of commission, someone will have to step up. As Theodore looks between the two of you, he scowls, and you watch as his will becomes resolute. I hate to disappoint you, but I called you here to tell you. Vitality already has a CEO. Weak heart or not, I'm keeping my seat. The board's not going to like that. They were willing to put things on hold now that you're awake, but when they find out you're still unwell... By the time they find out, I'll be back on my feet. Because you're all going to keep your mouth shut. Daddy, I'm sorry, but no one is in the live stream can focus on me with you yelling. You all turn to find Sabrina holding her cell phone high and aimed right at your father. A stream of shocked emojis flows across her screen. Sabrina, please tell me you're not recording this. Well, your father did just tell her to do her tick-clock thing in the corner, so I don't know. Of course I am. He just said... Before she can finish, web alerts send you and your brother's phones into near constant quakes. Dante scowls down at the screen. Almost every article is about Dad and his heart. Damn it, Sabrina. How many times have we told you to pay better attention? I didn't mean to. I was just doing what Daddy said. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't going to cut it. When the damn board hears about this, I'll be finished. Too late. You turn to find Elizabeth glowering at her cell phone. She holds the screen out, showing a message from James. In light of recent information, it's been decided that you'll have until the charity gala to formally name a successor. If you don't, one will be named for you. The room goes silent for a moment. No one says a word. Then your father turns to Dante and Sabrina, his eyes passing right over you. Then it looks like you two had better start impressing me. No, I get why you said that. Because they're the weakest ones. You've already proven yourself to him. That's what I believe. Later that week, you're hunched over your desk as Vitality... At Vitality when a knock sounds at your office door. Enter... Miss Kincaid, I'm sorry for intruding, but there's someone here to see you? Before he can finish, Trey settles in, looking around with a whistle. Nice office. Not quite C-suite, but I think we can get up to some serious trouble in here. He helps himself to a seat, then fixes you with a smile and a wink. Professionally. I mean... Trey... You're nothing but trouble. Professionally or otherwise. His voice drops to a husky whisper. There was a time when you used to like that. I used to like a lot of things. Now I'm doing my job. We have a pretty big launch coming up, and... What if I could get you a better job? What are you talking about? Your bid to take over the company, Cameron. What else? That sounds like we're going to need some coffee. I'll be right back. As George hurries away to get some drinks, you gesture to where he was standing. Could you not say things like that in front of George? He doesn't know you're kidding. Probably because I'm not. Who do you think just pushed for the board to offer a 3-month buffer window? That was you? How? I do have a seat on the board, you know. I pitched the idea, and then they went for it. Simple as that. Since when do you sit in on Vitality board meetings? When Dante and Sabrina stepped out, they didn't have a quorum, so they called me in. Usually, I have better things to do than listen to rich geriatrics bicker about how to get richer, but when I heard this could be all yours... He looks around again, this time wistfully, and shrugs, a charming smile gracing his face. I figured what better gift than the company you've dreamed of running your entire life. So you did all this for me. That's suspicious. You cross your arms and trap Trey in your gaze, looking for any sign of subterfuge. What's the catch? Don't tell me there isn't one, because no one just wakes up and decides to be nice. I mean, I do, I try. Typically after coffee, though. That's your dad talking. No, that's common sense. You round the desk and stop directly in front of him. Spill it now. For a moment, he pauses, and then... Cameron, There was a time in my life when I loved you more than almost anything or anyone. That doesn't just go away, even if I did. So yeah, I saw you in the bar, it conjured up old feelings, I wanted to do something nice. Sue me. Well, it doesn't matter. My dad has made it pretty clear I'm not in the running, and even if I was, I don't have the Vitelli last name. One quick trip to the records office should fix that. I'll drive. Trey hops up, but you wave him off. It's not that simple. Dad had Vitelli name trademarked. Taking it without his express permission would trigger a lawsuit. And it'd be easier to change the wealthier than to get him to hand it over willingly. Look, Cameron, our dads are men of a certain era, and frankly, to them, respect is everything. If you gain your father's respect, getting him to give you the rights to the last name will be easy. Mr. Tibidex is right. George breezes back in your office, a coffee tray in hand. Your dad's a little prickly, but with some smoozing, he can be persuaded. The real obstacle is getting the company to see you as a viable candidate. Mr. Trebidex is my father. Please, call me Trey. You must be George. In the flesh. Wait a minute. What do you mean I need to get the company to see me as a candidate? Well, I've asked around. Everyone thinks you're great, but they're not really sold on the idea of bringing you in charge. I was actually thinking you might want to start winning over the main bodies of the company to prove them wrong. Thank you, George. You can set that on my desk and close the door on your way out. Oh, are you sure you need me to stick around to take dictation or something? This isn't exactly a conversation I want written evidence of. Ryan. He sets the coffee service on your desk, obviously lingering in hopes you change your mind before reluctantly heading for the door. As it clicks closed behind him, Trey clucks. You're missing out on valuable resources by keeping George at arm's length. Valuable resource. I don't even know if I can trust him. I found him wandering the halls, and now I'm supposed to get chummy and bring him in on a plot to upend the company? That's ludicrous. It's a way to cultivate loyalty. Besides, we need all the soldiers we can get, because if he's right, there's a lot of ground to cover, you mind? Before he can answer, Trey climbs to his feet and pulls the new company org chart from your office wall. They just dropped it off this morning. Apparently Elizabeth's in charge of day-to-day operations until Dad's back on his feet. It doesn't matter who's in the top spot right now. What matters is how we're going to get you there. He pops the chart out of the frame and grabs a pen before motioning you over. The way I see it, Vitality has three main segments of power: media, in the press pool, managerial staff, and the board of directors. If you can gain control of the heads of each segment, you'll be able to prove your leadership and change the way people see you. And how am I supposed to do that? You've got two options: the carrot or the stick. It all depends on what kind of leader you want to be. The carrot. My dad used the stick to approach on me all my life. It taught me to fear more than anything. That's not the type of CEO I want to be. Fair enough. Then those, or these, are your targets. Luckily for you, you've already got my dad on your side. You peer over Trey's shoulder and take a look at the org chart. So this is your hopes, dreams, and everything. The company org chart will help you keep track of who's who of Vitality. Some of these people we've known, some of these people we don't. Sway them to your side by collecting dirt or performing favors. As you gain information, you'll be able to check it by collecting or selecting the icons that appear. You've unlocked the org chart. George knocks on the door again. George, annoying me to death isn't the way to get in my good graces. Sorry, Miss Kincaid, but the police are insisting you come down to the lobby to collect some items from the day of the shooting. Poor George. Seriously. You and Trey follow him into the elevator, and it starts to move. Trey shoots you a look, mouthing, "We could use him." He nods to George persistently, and with a sigh, you give in. George, when we get back upstairs, why don't you sit in? Really? I was starting to think you thought I was a nuisance. You open your mouth to answer, only for Trey to catch your eye. Be nice. You plaster on a smile. Oh, on the contrary, I... So, he is a potential love interest. Got it. On the contrary, I have been just distracted, always enjoy fostering new talent, would love to spend more time with you. You rest your hand on his arm, trying your best to ignore the jolt of energy that shoots through you as you make contact. I think you and I are going to be very close by the end of the tenure here. Really? Jesus Christ. Him face lights up. Alright, just continue. His face lights up with joy, and for a moment you forget that you're putting on airs. Really? Quickly, he whirls around to face Trey, nearly catching him mouthing something else. He pretends to scratch, but George isn't fooled. Trey, thank you for going to bat for me. How did you... I could see you talking in the reflection, plus I kind of listened in through the intercom on Miss Kincaid's desk. Oh, Jesus Christ. You sly one. You little sneak. I'm sorry, I just wanted to help. You're okay, dude. You're an eavesdropper, you little sneaker. Sus. Before you say another word, the elevator stops, depositing the three of you in the lobby. You head to the reception to collect the box. The police laughed. Most of the items are trivial, but as you come across a leather-bound journal, you pause. I can't believe it, it's my father's black book. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Here, why don't I put it in the trash? Bro, said no mobster ever! Yeah, but let me put the little black book in the trash. George reaches for it, but you step back, fending him off, and Trey quickly steps in to explain. It's not full of his conquest, it's full of his dirt. This is the book my father uses as leverage against his enemies. The damage this thing could do is seismic. Oh, then maybe you should open it? After all, a little bite behind your bark couldn't hurt, right? As you look at George with wide eyes, Trey looks on impressed. I'm with, a little, not so innocent. Why don't we crack it open and see what we're working with? Diamond choice. Time to open Pandora's box. Pandora's box, really. How bad could it be? Glance at the lock on the side, immediately your mind goes to where your father keeps a spare key in his desk. Why don't we pay my father's office a visit and I'll show you? The three of you head upstairs and you draw a deep breath as you push your way into your father's office. It's exactly as it was before the shooting, and the scent of his cologne lingering in the air gives you pause before you finally make your way. George, pick anyone from the company, and I bet I can find some juicy dirt on them in here. You retrieve the keys. George points to a mild-mannered regional manager on the chart. Okay, how about Michael from the mailroom? He's nice, and he always picks me up a coffee in the morning. Expensive stuff, too. From his place by the bookshelf, Trey snorts. Nice. Is as useless as one-ply toilet paper. People can be one way to the world and completely something different on the inside. This is true. My dad's book captures what's on the inside, and holds on to it until it's time to shine a little light there. You take a moment to flip through the journal until you spot Michael's name. Michael can afford to blow money on expensive coffee. He's stealing money from his non-profit charity. Okay, Michael dies. What? Immediately he looks crestfallen and Trey looks on in sympathy. Maybe we should read the rest privately. We don't want to crush George's world all in one go. No, I can handle it. Please don't kick me out. Fine. We'll see how you can handle the next one. I'll make my decision then. Glance over at the org chart. And if I'm going to pick, I might as well get some good stuff on the heads of business. Well, Ariel is already going to side against Dante, if the diamond choice actually did count. See how that works. However, we have Kyrie Roberts from the press, Gloria Fields from the managerial staff, or she apparently is a GC from the board. Let's go with the press. The press can control a lot of things. You flip through the book until you find a familiar name. Gotcha. Well, According to this, Kyrie has a gambling problem. He's currently hiding from several bookies who are looking to collect on outstanding debts. Would they really hurt him? Yes. That's a dumb question. Depending on how much he owes, they could do a lot more than that. That's terrible. We gotta do something. You poor... Leave the office, please. Just leave. You and Trey go silent, and immediately George backtracks. I mean, I could call them... A bit of an overcorrection, but you've got the right idea. Oh, we can pick all three. Okay, let's go with Ariel. Let's see. Looks like Ariel is a no-good, dirty cheater. It says that. George rushes to your side to look at the page, but when he catches your look, he quickly backs off. I mean, yeah, she is. It just looks like she paid someone to take the bar for her. Oh, wow. If it ever got out, she'd be stripped of her license. Then I guess we're waiting for the right moment for it to get out, huh? Exactly. Now you're learning. And finally, Gloria Fields. Looks like Gloria's hiding a secret from her husband. She has 3 children, but her husband only fathered 2. Oh no. A lot of people in this company like to cheat in one way or another. Including her father, let's be honest. You shoot George a look, and he tightens up. I mean, does it say who the other father is? No, but nice save. You may stay. Thanks, I swear I'm getting the hang of this rough and tough business world stuff. Hang around us long enough and it'll become second nature. You thumb through the pages of the book and the possibilities. Tantalizing. So we've got 2. You read the books, okay, dug up some dirt. No, I didn't mean to click on it. I meant to get the thing off my screen. Alright, so we've got 3 people. Hold on, let's just click randomly on this one. This book he's looking for him, that could be useful. Looks like that's everything. Okay, so I guess we just click on these. Arrow paid to pass the bar. Looks like that's everything. Okay, I guess I just click the X. We know everything. Didn't know you could click the X. Until the door bursts open and one of your direct reports rushes towards you. Cameron, we've got a problem. How the hell did you know I was in here? Is it my father? Has something happened? Turn on the news. You brace yourself for the news, your father's ailing health, only to see something much worse. In other Vitality news, Executive Technical Officer Charles Levitt has ousted from his home today by his wife of 20 years. While sources close to the matter have revealed that Mr. Levitt's mistress alleges he used company technology to conduct the affair, we have not been able to receive a statement from Vitality as of this report. Footage of Charles's belongings being tossed out of a window plays, and as his wife chucks his company-owned laptop out too, you feel your blood boil. Son of a... As the crawl splashes, Vitality exec caught using tech for affairs across the screen, you whip around and look at George. Get me Ariel in the General Counsel's office, and if Charles isn't in his office in 10 minutes, he'll be doing a reenactment of that with me. You send Trey away with a promise to meet later before bunkering down in the conference room with Ariel and Charles. We need to talk about your recent indiscretion, Charles. I don't care what you do in your personal life, but when you bring business into it... This is just a case of a woman scorned, I swear. I told Rachel I was going back to my wife. She said she was pregnant and that I couldn't leave. And when I did anyway, she pulled this story out of thin air. I'm the victim here. No, you're not. Yes, poor you. You stalk around the conference table until you're squarely in front of Charles. But here's the thing. You can't lie to me like you did your wife. You may be able to tell her the sky's purple. Never believe it. But I know bullshit when I smell it, and you reek. I'm telling you the truth. You stare him down, your well-honed BS detector blaring. Let's hope so, because if she's not lying and it turns out you really were using technology against company protocol, Ariel's going to sue you for everything you're worth. And your wife's going to take whatever's left. His eyes widen as he swallows hard. Okay, so maybe it might be a little true. Damn it! You throw up your arms, exasperated in pace. When you say you used our technology, what exactly did you do? I used a few loopholes to converse with my affair partner. Okay, do I really need to go into specifics? Unfortunately, yes, we need to ascertain the extent of the breach. This could have severe implications. Okay, I may have listened to their husbands' phones to know when they were coming home. And there were a few times I remotely erased messages that I thought better of, after the fact, pictures of stuff. Jesus Christ. Give me my gun. So really, any of your affair partners could have blown the whistle on you. How could you be so stupid? We can get ahead of this. NDA's payoffs. The sooner we start, the sooner this all goes away. Make it happen. Ariel stands up to grab her briefcase. I'll have to wait until after I get back from the court. I'm due into court to quash a request for a deeper look into this situation. There's a grand jury being convened to decide whether we broke any anti-spying laws, thanks to him. Who knows how long that'll take. Oh, this happened way too quick, man. Are you serious? This usually takes months in real life. Angrily, you punch the intercom button. George, get in here, please. Seconds later, as he walks to the door, you nail him with a look. Collect a list of names from Mr. Levitt. When that's done, visit everyone on the list and get them to sign an NDA. Of course, just one question. What if they say no? You do what you have to get a yes. This is the dirty part of the job, George. It won't be all impressive meetings and per diems. Can you handle that or not? I can, I promise. Still, you see the panic in his eyes. In him eyes, mother... Just move on. And with a deep sigh, you glance at your watch. I'm not going to leave something so important to the rookie. Reschedule my afternoon, meet me in the car. It's time for a crash course in Business 101. Later, you pull up to the address Charles gave you to find an apartment swarmed by the press. Looks like we found his mistress's house. So, how do we get Rachel out of there? We don't. Last thing we need is for anyone to even know we're here. You motion for the driver to circle the block. As he pulls off, you turn to face George. Rule number 1. Press are to people in a scandal what cages are to animals. Up ahead, you see a figure sneaking out a fenced-in backyard. Rachel Stokes. The more tightly they're confined, the more likely they are to try and escape. Is that her? Only one way to find out. As you pull up alongside the woman, you throw open the door to the car. Rachel Stokes? How many times do I have to tell you people, no comment? We're not with the press. The woman stops dead and looks from you to George and back. I don't know about him, but Charles has the same beady look in his eye. You must be from Vitality. Oh, what I am is your lifeline. Get in. We need to talk. Rachel chances a look back before shuffling inside, and as the door slams closed, you pull off into traffic. You nudge George, and he hands the paperwork across the car to the woman. We need you to sign these. It's a standard NDA with a generous one-time settlement. The woman glances at the papers before tossing them back. Why would I do that when I'm sitting on a gold mine? You saw how much the press clamored after me. Everyone wants to hear my story. Casually, George turns to look at you, and you sigh before sliding forward in your seat. Look, Rachel, I'm doing you a favor. How long do you think you can ration that payday? It won't be forever. When it ends, you'll have a baby depending on you to make ends meet. I suggest you take the money. You look at George expectantly and he quickly plasters on a smile. You'd really be doing us a favor. Oh, dude, mother. Across from you, Rachel hesitates, clearly considering your words, and then... I know my baby needs me, but this is my only chance to milk this thing for all it's worth. I feel like I should hold out, so... Tears fill her eyes as she pushes the paperwork back. I can't. George turns to look at you, pointedly. What now, what, Cameron? You've been playing hardball with mistresses since I was a kid. When they say they want more, what they really want is to feel like they won. The easiest way is with more money. Best way is to charm them. Little whining and dining puts them back on top, but it's an art form. Any chance I can see it at work? You glance across the car at Rachel, who stares at you expectantly. Ugh. Listen, I've always wanted to be the bad guy in choices, but come on. Charm school starts now. I know this is all very stressful. How about we continue this conversation at the best restaurant in town? Her eyes widen. She knows, obviously, this woman wants a taste of the good life, and you're more than happy to show it to her. A driver to La Bellevue. With a snap of the fingers, your driver whisks the three of you off. Despite the crowd, a table of 3 chairs was brought out and set up in the best spot in the house. Wow, this place is something else. It really is. George glances around, open mouth, taking in the splendor of the restaurant. I hook my arm in George's, tell George to get it together. Get it together, George, come on. You quietly remind him that the part of wielding power is to appearing unfazed by it, and he adopts a more stoic appearance. The 3 of you sit and unfold gold-edged menus. You haven't been here before. No. You smile at her and make a snap decision. Order something expensive. You gesture to the waiter, who appears as if by magic. I'll take the dozen oysters, Rockefeller, please. Actually, we all will. That's too... expensive. No, dear, it's not. You nod to the waffling woman across from you. She gestures around the restaurant. This could be all yours, too. Help me help you. It's lovely here, but... Think about it. No one cares about you except me. You know... Your lover has many other women. I'm not surprised. Hurt, but not surprised. The cold, hard truth is that we are your only friends. She surprises you by breaking out in tears. It doesn't really surprise me. They're going to get me for not going along with it. Who's they? And what is it? What were you supposed to do? The mistress hesitates and takes a deep breath, ready to explain. George slides forward, focusing her attention on the woman. Look, we need to understand everything to help you, please. Just tell us what happened. The woman caves, her face crumpling. I didn't get the idea to expose him on my own. All the evidence I needed to be taken seriously was left for me. Left for you by who? Someone who said they'd take care of me. That's all I know. Your thoughts race. Wait a minute. If they know this, what else could they know? Rachel, I need you to think hard. Is there something that you can tell me about the mystery benefactor? Anything that stood out to you? Rachel looks uneasy, clearly unsure. I don't know, they seem to know everything about me and Charles, almost like they were insiders. What does that mean, Miss Kincaid? As George speaks, you remember he's sitting next to you and quickly straightens up. You got some dirt, insider trading. It means I have something to think about, but that's a problem for another day. You push the stack of papers in front of Rachel once more. Look, no one will treat you better than we will. I'll protect you from anyone that comes after you, and you'll be paid handsomely. Make your life better. Sign the papers. For a moment, she looks at you solemnly, and then... Fine, but not until after dessert. One signature and 3 desserts later, you and George drop Rachel off at her mother's house. George leans back in his seat, breathing in a sigh of relief. I never realized the amount of extracurriculars that happen in business. That's because we don't talk about them. The business world is full of secrets and backdoor deals. Luckily, we caught this in time. We don't want the situation getting any bigger. No sooner than the words are out of your mouth, your phone rings, and it's hardly against your ear before Ariel's harried voice comes through. Go for Cameron. The motion I was attempting to squash went through. Vitality has officially been required to turn over Charles's devices. No need. Tell the judges that we'll settle. Whatever the fine is, we'll pay it. Charles won't get a bonus this year, but it's not the end of the world. It's not that simple, Cameron. Charles wasn't just using our tech to spy on his mistresses, husbands, and raid their phones. He was using it to spy on other companies, and that's a felony. God damn it. You're an idiot. What? What am I supposed to do here? I don't know. Let's click on this. Let's see if it gives us something. Okay, so we don't have anything. Charles isn't on here, so moving on. I guess that's just, hey, well, listen, welcome to the end of the chapter. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy the content, to like, share, and subscribe. Also, there's the join in thanks feature. Aside from that, you know one thing you will never have to deal with on this channel? Dealing with fake content. Literally and figuratively, I read. I even screw up during this stuff. I never, in any of the videos that I ever do, have a script. Literally and figurative, like I just saw, like you just saw. I screw up. I'm a human being. Bro, who's writing this shit? How many times in this chapter? How many times? 4? 4. How do you get the simplest thing screwed up? And I know it's not just that, because there's a lot of times I read this stuff and there will be long periods of like reading, right? There's no commas, there's no periods, exclamations, no questions, no nothing. Then there's also times where words don't make sense and I have to improvise on the fly because I'm doing this and I'm reading it and I have to slow myself down reading this stuff. So we've got 4 hymns in this thing where it should be his. Never have I... Dude, you could get any writer on the line, okay? Any writer. Go find anyone. I don't care. The lowest of the low or the highest of the highest. Listen, when have you used him in a book? Do you use it as a self-describer? No. You know, I can understand and I see, you know, I give the book to him. But him give book to me. No. Okay? Just... God, sweet baby Jesus. We're going to talk, and we're not going to talk in this video. We're going to talk. There's a thing coming soon to this channel. Stay tuned. It's probably going to happen in the next couple days. It's going to be the biggest thing that you've seen since sliced bread. Not even kidding. And we're going to have a talk, okay? We're literally and figuratively going to have a talk. So just get some popcorn or whatever the day I do it. It's going to sit down. It's going to be probably a minimum of a 20-minute video involving this app and some things that you've never heard of before. And we're going to have a talk. And the people over there on the Rooted site, they're not going to like it. You know, the little orange icon, if you use it for choices, you're about to be in for an earthquake. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.